Hello Papua New Guinea, I'm your host Godwin Aki and welcome to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. On tonight's show we'll be looking at the PNG FA Elite Academy Soccer Trials. We have an interview with Samantha Kazman on Taekwondo and CRU 7s, as well as our weekly NSL review, and softball hits up with the preliminary finals being played. Well, it's been a busy weekend, so let's take a look at all the weekend action.
Start off with the Intra Super Cup and our SP Hunters going down to a much stronger Northern Pride side at the Colorbond Oval in Kokopo, 34 points to 18. Despite David Locomotion Loco's try in the first half, the Hunters struggled to keep up with the Pride when the heavens opened up in the second half. The Hunters will have to tighten up on ball handling and patience to persevere in this weekend's match against 5th place East Tigers in Langlands Park. And in Rugby Union in Port Moresby, a quiet Monia Rugby Park kicked off Capital Rugby Union's pre-season over the weekend. The competition also sees the return of women's 15s and the inclusion of Team Crusaders. The competition is set to be bigger and tougher. Port Moresby men's softball entered its finals playoff over the weekend. In B-grade matches, Brown Eagles went down to Flyers Defence, while Stingers and PNG Power locked horns in the second semi-finals. And finally, the TNT Short Course Swimming Championships were also held over the weekend in Port Moresby. The 3-day event saw the return of PNG's Butterfly King, Ryan Pinney.
Well, in swimming, the TNT Short Course Championships started underway with visiting swimmers taking on Port Moresby talent in the pool. The championships are a part of PNG Swimming Association's bid to provide quality swimmers for the 2015 Pacific Games. Some of the swimmers have come from Lae and also from swimming clubs in Australia.
The TNT Short Course Championships has attracted swimmers from Port Moresby, Lae and also from Brisbane, Australia, some of whom are as young as 6 years old.
After a 3-day long weekend of TNT national titles, swimmers from the Boroko Amateur Swimming Club competed in their last round of the competition. It was followed by presentations of medals. For some of the swimmers, well, it definitely paid off for them as they walked up on the podium to be recognized as medal winners. Presentation divisions were juniors, intermediates and 17 to 30 and the bar for the open division. Medal presentations were given for each stroke, ranging from gold, silver and bronze for each winning stroke in first, second and third placings for both male and female. These were 50 meters, free, breast, back and butterfly, 100 IM, 200 back, 100 back, 100 and 200 butterfly, 100 back and 1500 free. Also present at the presentation was PNG swimming sensation Ryan Pinney, who also managed to grab a few medals with gold in the 50 men's butterfly.
We'll have swimmers hopefully making aquatic excellence squad, BSP aquatic excellence squad, or the national team to go to the swim team to go to Oceania Championships, and also we'll be picking a team to go to the Commonwealth Games.
Ms. Wells was quite pleased with the outcome of the competition and thanked the TNT Association for helping and providing with the setup of the National Swimming Championships. Well, viewers, grab yourself a Coke as we go for our first break, so stick around. Welcome back to Coca-Cola Sports Scene. The PNG Football Association ran its Elite Academy trials in Port Moresby as development officers identify the best potential pool of talented young soccer players and give the best players the opportunity to have better training. This comes under the Oceania Football Confederation's mission to develop a stronger player development pathway in Papua New Guinea. Boys aged 15 and 16 were encouraged to attend the trials as PNG FA seeks to develop young youth players with the technical skills necessary to compete at a higher level.
With development programs already occurring in a number of different sports, the Papua New Guinea Football Association is now working on creating a pathway for developing young players. The program aims to give youth players the skills and techniques needed in modern-day football. The boys were taught basic dribbling skills and ball control, and also how to develop awareness in space and movement. Taku Niebo is the technical director for PNGFA and is hoping that down the line, these boys can be able to compete and play overseas. The best of these young players will then be selected into PNGFA's Elite Academy, but there is still a long way to go before they get there.
A lot of those boys do have potential and we wish them all the best. Well, the PNG Taekwondo Federation is hoping to include more females in next year's Pacific Games, and one of those who is hoping to make mark is former Games silver medalist Samantha Kazmin. Jeremy caught up with her during her training sessions to talk about the sport.
Taekwondo, I started when I was really young, so I'd say about 13 to 15 years. My brothers actually, watching them train at home after school, and it motivated me to be competitive, having grown up with the boys. Yeah.
Samantha started Taekwondo in 1997. She made the national team in 1999 and won the female 55 kilogram division at the national championships. Her highest achievement has been winning silver at the SP Games in Suva in 2003.
Like every other female and every other sport, I am hoping to be one of the athletes taking part in the 2015 Games. We've only just started bringing in a lot of females, well, their interest grew, and it's continuing to grow. I would like to ask that, if anyone else is interested, we are looking for females to make the 2015 Games, and that would have to be the divisions of 67 and above. So if there's any interested females out there, they're more than welcome to come. We have a lot of violence against women, and Taekwondo teaches self-defense, which is really good for the female in our country. We have been, for the national team, we train with a Korean master, Kim, down at the Caritas School. And as well, we have Saturday sessions here with the ladies and mixed with the guys. We need commitment and focus, so hopefully they do make the team. Most of our sport in the country are male dominated, and with Taekwondo, it's one of the sports that is all male. And yeah, I would like to encourage all the ladies to come in, join, try it out. If you like it, then there you go, you found your hobby and your sport. Basically, it gives you, Taekwondo for me personally, gives me confidence, knowing that I can defend myself. It boosts my image as well. For a few years, I did slack off from Taekwondo for a bit, and having gotten back into the sport just last year, I've shed a lot of weight, and my life's just, taken a whole different direction. So the sport itself does give you a new light and outlook to life.
Samantha Kazmin there. Well, we'll go for a quick break, so stay with us. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. While the sevens fever have died down, most rugby union competitions around the country have commenced their 15th pre-season competition. Capital Rugby Union kicked off its pre-season this weekend at the Monia Rugby Park in Port Moresby. A total of 14 men's under-19s and A-grade and 10 women's and men's premier teams have registered for this year's competition. Well, last year the Trukai Harlequins dominated the finals in the men's premier, men's A-grade and women's division. This season also sees the inclusion of Team Crusaders, while they were outstanding in the women's NPC and the Kreme Osenko Sevens Invitational. This year they'll have to prove their worth against much-seeded teams University, Defense, Trukai Harlequins, Krema Osenko Brothers and Spartans.
After successfully hosting both the women's and men's national provincial championships in Port Moresby, the Monia Rugby Park kicked off Capital Rugby Union's pre-season competition over the weekend. This year's competition sees the inclusion of another new team, Crusaders. While they were outstanding in both the women's and men's NPC, this year they'll have to prove themselves worthy contenders on the field. And it's the return of women's 15s. While the former Regianas played against a flairful Select Palai squad, there will surely be a tougher competition for Sportscom selection time. While the Trukai Harlequins dominated the finals last year, taking out the men's premiership, the competition will be grueling and test the strength, speed and tactics of all clubs. So dust out those footy boots, slap on a hat and come down to Monia Rugby Park, your home of rugby union in Port Moresby this weekend.
Well, now we have our weekly NSL review with Jeremy Moggy.
Hekari had appeared comfortable after an early Ian Yanum goal, but Morobe had not arrived in the capital for a holiday. Hansen Topio, intent on making his mark in the competition, Corey Akupaiga was handed the captain's armband and led in defense, combining well with Tutizama Tanito. But the Morobe defense was tight and compact after their opening goal. They survived a scare when Kila Ponlena set up Gunemba, and Eric Komang, back in action after a lengthy injury spell, was given instructions to move the ball quicker. It was 1-0 into half-time. Gigira looked to tighten up in the second half, Neil Hans cracking this shot into the wall. He tried once again, but scrambling defense again by Morobe got in the way. Coach Jerry Allen was left fuming after this challenge on Tanito went unchecked. Jamal Sito was in form, leading his team from up front. His equalizer coming 11 minutes after the break. Kema Jack was called into action after that as the game began to get physical. Remember, furious as referee Amos Anio again let play continue. The game began to hang in the balance, and while Tanito had been a target for the Morobe defense, he stung this bolter in from close range. Hekari looked on track for another hard victory and were inspired by Tanito's goal, testing the skills of Max Efale. Controversy reared its ugly head as first the Hekari bench vented their anger at referee Anio, and even the Morobe players showed their disapproval over his decisions. Leading toward the end, Hekari lapsed in concentration, and that gave Hansen Topio space to punish their defense. 2-2 it ended, and Morobe coach Sam Ipaisasami was content with the result.
I'm happy with the performance because it's a good challenge for these guys because on take part low league we have to give them a challenge to Karim name Blooming, Papua New Guinea, so it's a good challenge when we play Gimolo today's game.
Hekari are still leading the competition and will be hoping for a better result before they head to New Zealand for the OFC Champions League. Coming up next, would PNG Power avenge the loss of their A-grade team, or would it be Gazelle through to the next stage? That's after the break. Thanks for joining us. You're watching Coca-Cola Sports Scene. Well, the Port Moresby Men's Softball League action over the weekend was intense, with the top 5 teams in both the A and B grade battling out for coveted grand final spot. 2 of the teams involved were Gazelle and PNG Power. Let's take a look.
With Brown Eagles having been defeated by Defence, the outcome of the preliminaries would prove decisive. Under watchful eyes, PNG Power began a nervous start to their do-or-die campaign against Gazelle. Coach Demetrius Mosley hoping for a good result.
And knowing that my boys cannot hit a fastball, we had to squeeze their play. We do bounce and slaps.
Gazelle were coming off an up and down season, but good form over the past few weeks had given them a confidence boost. Power had planned on a counter to fast pitching from Gazelle, and it almost paid off on more than one instance. A missed catch top of the second innings allowed Gazelle to claim the first home run. Power recovered and settled, running out in classic circumstances. Gazelle counted on their own, an almost error turning into a tag. Both teams were finding runs hard to come by, Power resorting to stealing bases at any opportunity. A high throw gave Gazelle an opportunity to extend their lead. A dramatic slip and Gazelle got yet another base, the game getting even more tense. And that began the fight back for PNG Power. From 2-0 down, they clawed their way to win 7-5 and will now take on Brown Eagles in the preliminary finals.
And finally, the Lamana Cup pool tournament entered a heated knockout round on the weekend after 5 weeks of grueling group rounds. As a male-dominated sport, 5 females have outclassed their male counterparts to qualify and secure their spots in the finals.
After much interest and 5 captivating weeks of competition, the Lamana Cup 2014 pool tournament entered its knockout rounds over the weekend. The tournament is staged annually to allow employees to socialize and also bridge and strengthen networks. With a name synonymous among the cricket fraternity, Kilian Amini, tournament director, took time out from the heated matches for a chat.
We started the comp mid-Feb this year, and it's probably going to run for about 6 to 7 weeks, ending on March the 29th.
How many teams have taken part?
Okay, originally there were 14 teams that had expressed interest in joining the Lamana Cup, but only 10 actually made it to the cutoff. So there were about teams were asked to register 10 maximum players, and so we've got around just under 100 players playing in the Lamana Cup.
Okay. What's the format of the game?
Okay, unlike previous ones where teams were asked to play in a team format, 5 singles, 2 doubles, we decided to change it up and get players playing in groups. So every team that registered a player would then a player would be allocated to a different group. 8 groups were created. So the top 4 of each group was to qualify to the next round, which is what we're having on today.
Snooker is ordinarily played in bars, clubs, and occasionally the tucker box down the road. Like snooker, pocket billiards, commonly known as pool, is played with a set of 16 balls, a cue ball and 15 object balls, on a pool table with 6 pockets built into the rails of the table. In a sport dominated by male counterparts, a handful of women have braved up to give the guys a run for their money in this year's tournament.
Well, that's all for tonight. Just a reminder, if you'd like us to feature your results or you have a sporting event, let us know on our website, that's mtv.com.pg, or check us out on Facebook page, that's www.facebook.com/sportscene. You can also tune into Hotspot for all your latest upcoming sports events and news. Well, as always, viewers, please grab yourself a nice ice-cold Coca-Cola can or bottle and satisfy your thirst. Until next week, right here, same time, same place on Coca-Cola Sports Scene. I'm Godwin Eki. See you then.